1.
All right, welcome to video, geez, I don't even know, 29? Video 29. We're going to put in our video like and dislike feature. Now, it's a little bit tricky. It's the thumbs up and the thumbs down. And there's two things about it. We want to be able to, the user can only add one like, and if they like a video, they can't also dislike the same video. So you can only have one at a time, but you have the ability to change it after you've already done it. So if you decide, I no longer like this video, so I just liked the video, I can't like it again. If I click it again, I'm going to remove that like. But if I click it again, I'm going to add that like. And if I want to add a dislike, I've already liked it, so I can't dislike it. But if I take that like away and I want to put it on a dislike, I can do that. But I can't add two dislikes. If I click dislike again, it's going to go away. So I only get to put one vote on one of those two. Now, how do we implement all that stuff? While at the same time, we also want to start gathering information about our users. We want to know which videos they like and which videos they dislike. So when we display recommendations or this list over here, we can put in and tailor that list based on the videos they like. Because if we have the ID of the videos they like, we can get other information like the title, the description, and if we add in tags, which we haven't done yet, we can get features that describe the video, so we can tailor the user experience later on. But how do we implement this like and dislike feature right now? It starts with the schemas. We've already added in our models. So for now, in our schemas, we're going to add likes and dislikes as arrays of IDs for our user. And on our video schema, okay, we're going to add in likes and dislikes as integers. And we're going to add an add like and an add dislike mutation, both taking in a video ID, which is of type ID, and a boolean called remove. And both, we'll just say both return a video for now. Now, we create two different resolvers. Takes our variables, our models, our user, context, and we're actually doing two different find one and updates because we're interacting with both the user and the video model. So in the user model, we either want to add the ID to this array of IDs, which represent videos, because if you remember in our model, for our user, our dislikes and our likes refer to videos and their IDs. So we want to push a new ID or remove an ID because you can click the button again, and we don't want something hanging around in an array of something someone likes if they decide they don't like it anymore. Or maybe they clicked it by mistake. So we take this remove boolean. So the remove boolean is true, we're going to be taking an ID out. If the remove boolean is false, we're going to be putting an ID in. So we just use the push and the pull. Before, we've used the push, and the opposite of push is pull. And we just tell it what field and which field to look for in the case of pull. So push, it's going to push this ID into likes. Pull, it's going to pull this ID from likes. And then in our second filter, we're looking at the video by ID, and once again, based on our remove true or false, so if we're removing an ID, we're removing a like. So we increment by -1. There's no decrement, it's just increment, and you add a sign to a negative value and it subtracts it. And if remove is false, we're adding a like, so we add one. So we return that because that's going to return the video model. And we do the same thing for add dislike. And you can check the Mongo documentation for these operators. And we're using just regular ternary expressions to shorten this code. It's kind of complicated just because it's not a simple click and add one user interface, and it's not a simple, okay, you click it once and it adds it, click it again and it goes away. It's more than that. It's multiple things you can click. So we add these mutations to our client side, and we just add them in and give them the names corresponding to, I just match it up with the name of the mutation itself. And we just add those in and separate them with commas. And what I've had to do here is these are our thumbs up icon buttons. So I've made one method that's going to handle everything, and I call it handle thumbs. And I want to use the same method for both because it's a lot of code. The code I'm about to show you may be able to be simplified. I feel like the back end is fairly cut and dry, simplified code, but the front end is a little bit tricky because there's a lot of different possibilities here. So I'm binding a control here. You say bind, the first argument is this, and the second argument, you can set it up like this. The like button, I put like, and the dislike button, I put dislike. I tried to use the event.target.id, but for some reason with the icon button, I was getting the SVG of the icon. It wasn't working like I expected, so I did it this way. It'll work. So bind like to the like button and bind dislike to the dislike button. Okay. So here's it's quite a bit of code, but here's our handle thumbs async function of control. So what is control? Control is that like or dislike. Literally, the string is going to be passed in as the first argument. And if I put a comma and then an event, the event would be the second argument here on a click. But we don't need the event. We just need that string that we bound through .bind. Now, we get the arrays from our initial query from the owner, likes and dislikes. So we have the array of IDs when the page loads. Then our video ID comes from our props, and we check to see if we have a like ID or dislike ID in their respective arrays by trying to find the video ID. So it's either going to return that ID, or it's going to return undefined. So most common scenario, first time coming to a page, first time liking or disliking something, we get no IDs back. They're both undefined. And then we break that even further down to the controller. We get the like controller, we run our add like. If we get the dislike controller, we run the dislike. Now, we enter the variables in, we say await this.props, and a return is a key here. You gotta have that return that exits the function. We do add like for like, and we do add dislike for dislike. The variables are the same, ID, video ID, and remove. And then we're going to refetch the query. A simple way to update our user interface is just refetching the query with the original variable. And then we go down, what if disliked is undefined, but we already have a liked ID? In that case, the only thing we're going to allow to mutate is a like, because like has been clicked. Disliked has not been clicked. So if we get dislike, we're just going to return. We're not going to add a dislike if there isn't one, because we don't want to have a like and a dislike being pushed. We don't want to have the both things simultaneously. So we just exit the function without doing anything if they click and these conditions are true. And the same goes for if there's a dislike but no like. Then we will remove the dislike. just like we're removing the like in this situation.